Hello everyone, I am CryptoRenzi and this is your channel for Apex Bitcoin and crypto news. And there is indeed a lot of noise and FUD in the world right now. There's a bunch of people feeling stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing when to come into Bitcoin, and there's a golden opportunity passing people by right now as we speak. All this seems to be a huge ploy to take your eye off the prize, which is ultimately Bitcoin, which is even more ultimately owning one whole coin. Now, before I dive into this, I just want to ask you a huge favor. Please, if you're new here or you've been watching my content but have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It's imperative we get this video out to more people as people desperately need to see this content. And all we can do is work with the YouTube algorithm because without a lot of subscribers, they don't push these videos out to people. So please help me and do your part by subscribing to the channel. I'm going to continue to make excellent content for you that's going to continue to educate you and keep you in the loop. Thank you again for being here, and without further ado, let's jump in. So the first thing I want to talk about is what happened a few hours ago as Chase Bank has announced in the UK that they're going to block crypto payments, apparently amid scam concerns and regulatory changes. Which totally sounds like a bunch of nonsense to me, but I'll definitely let you decide. Chase UK customers are about to hit a roadblock for payments tied to cryptocurrency dealings. The bank's rationale? A spike in scams and fraud. An email from institution cautions, if we think you're making a payment related to crypto assets, we'll decline it. We've seen an increase in the number of crypto scams targeting UK customers. So we have taken the decision to prevent the purchase of crypto assets on a Chase debit card or by transferring money to a crypto site from a Chase account, the Chase spokesperson revealed. My purpose here is not to just bash people or bash institutions or anything like that, but it is my job to be clear, well, crystal clear with you on exactly what's going on. Now, the CEO of Chase Bank is Jamie Dimon. Whether you love him, hate him, whether you have no feelings about him or whatnot, you can't argue he's a smart person. He's a smart businessman. He didn't get to where he got to by being dumb. Now, obviously, there's a war, it seems like, on the banks because the banks are always in a greedy position, right? For years it's been going on where they don't pay you enough interest. They borrow your money out and earn tons of interest on it from the government compared to what they measly give you. And again, I can go on and on with different comparisons like this. But with Bitcoin now skewing up, it's causing a lot of concern, and the banks are not quite sure how to handle this. So what tends to happen, again, I'm not saying they're doing this, but if you look at the past history of what Jamie Dimon said, how initially he was against Bitcoin, hated it. Next thing you know, they're starting to pack their bags and make sure they have enough Bitcoin. What a lot of these huge institutions will do is they'll downplay something while in the background they're buying it. So they can inevitably bring the price down so they can get a better buy-in price. Because remember, you make your money on the purchase. Always remember that. You make your money on the purchase. So they're going to do what they can to basically convince you it's not worth it. So they can make a huge profit on their purchase, hold it with diamond hands as obviously the asset continues to climb throughout the years. Again, I'm not going to tell you how to think or how not to think about Chase Bank, but I'm going to tell you this. Okay, I'm obviously in the US. Luckily, this hasn't happened in the US yet, but who's to say it's not coming? I'm not going to allow a bank to tell me what I can and cannot spend my money on. How do you feel about that? Comment down below if you're okay with a bank telling you where to spend your money, how to spend your money. I'll let you stew in that for a second, because that's one of the biggest things with crypto, right? Power to the people. We're taking the keys and the power and putting it back in your hands. So this way you don't always have to run to the bank if you need something. So this way you're not always at their mercy. And look, in the bank's defense, if a bank would open their eyes and see the power and value of cryptocurrency, and accept it with open arms instead of all this hidden nonsense, that is going to be the bank that's going to be at the forefront of everything. Maybe that bank can rewrite the history of how they've wronged customers in the past and did things possibly unscrupulous to some people. But downplaying crypto and saying it's scammy and fraud and all this stuff, look, nothing angers me more than when people, whether it's a politician or someone, gets on television and says how Bitcoin is the #1 thing that criminals use to launder money or buy drugs. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. The most trackable thing, the most transparent thing is watching Bitcoin on the blockchain. Everything's trackable on these blockchains because all you have to do is know the wallet address from point A to point B. And if you don't think the FBI and the government can get these addresses, then you're mistaken. Okay, so these are people, unfortunately, when they speak this way, they truly have no clue what they're talking about. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of people listening to this stuff, especially on television. So just remember, yes, you know, there are scammy people. There are people that do rug pulls and set up projects and with the intent to steal all your money. But Bitcoin is the furthest thing from that. Now, if Chase Bank, okay, stay with me on this one. If Chase Bank wanted to block, let's just say, for example, meme coin purchases, it's still not right. They still have no right telling you what to do with your money. But yeah, okay, maybe they're trying to protect you from rug pulls and scams. Okay, possibly. But again, it's still not their place to tell you that. But for them to tell you that towards Bitcoin, do I really need to press this point any harder? I believe you're seeing through the curtain on what's actually going on here. Let's dig deeper. So the next bit of noise going on, if you're in the US like I am, is our government's about to shut down, which is not good for us. This is definitely not something we want right now. So Congress is moving into crisis mode as the Senate unveils bipartisanship bill to avoid a government shutdown. So you have all this noise going on right now with Bitcoin and Chase overseas in Europe. You have our government potentially shutting down. And let's not forget, the stock market has been pretty much in the red all of September. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have pretty much been down in the red all September. And if you remember, roughly a month ago, before we got into September, I made a video about how bearish September usually is. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and post that video here. And it's just doing research. It's reading the numbers and looking at the past performances of stuff. And even though there's no crystal ball and nothing's indicative of past results indicate future earnings, it doesn't matter. We still have to look at what's given. What was it? I think in the last 13 years, only 2 years, was there a slightly bullish sentiment in September. But the next few months are usually rapidly bullish because it's the months towards the end of the year leading up into the halving cycle. So that's really one of the big things to make this video. I need to make sure you're not letting the noise get to you, okay? Because there's a lot of positive news too, because you need to hear the positiveness of what's going on. And let's jump into that next. So if you want the most bullish news I can possibly give you, I want you to take a look at this article. Fidelity predicts a $1 billion price point for Bitcoin. Yes, this is for 2038, but again, who cares, right? The fact that there's analysts even looking at it in this range is phenomenal. And Fidelity, in my opinion, is one of the best in their class of doing this, as well as just being an investment advisor all the way around. So $1 billion, that's a lot of zeros. Yes, 9 to be exact. In 2021, $1 billion seems like a lot of money. Even in 2038, it will be a lot of money. And let me talk on that for a second. Yes, inflation's running rampant, and we don't know how it's going to be from now till then. But still, $1 billion is a lot of money. Even if it's not what it's going to be today, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your family's life, your children's life, their children's life, so on and so forth. Keep that in mind. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, director of global macro at Fidelity Investments, believes that one Bitcoin could be worth $1 billion by the year 2038. 𝗕𝗓𝗪 also believes that the orange coin could hit 1 million before this decade is over. That's only 8 years from now. And I've been telling you how important it is to get your Bitcoin now while you can, before you get fully priced out. Let's move on to this next bullish story. Coinbase holds now $25 billion of Bitcoin. That's roughly 5% of the total supply. So clearly Brian Armstrong is heavy in this as well. He fully believes it. He sees it. And again, this is not news you should take lightly. And of course, Michael Saylor never wants to miss out as well from the party. Super Bitcoin Maxi, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy buys 5,445 more Bitcoin for a total of roughly just under $148 million. MicroStrategy has added 5,445 more Bitcoin to its corporate treasury, bringing its total corporate treasury holdings to above 158,000 Bitcoin. Wow. This guy gets it. He always has gotten it. He's a brilliant man. He's a visionary. Just, again, more positive news and fuel to hopefully get you motivated to not listen to the noise. See what the banks are doing, unfortunately, to you. Do you really want someone telling you what to do with your money? No. Power to the people. Freedom comes to you through Bitcoin. And finally, I want to show you the rich list for Bitcoin. Now this is interesting, okay, so definitely pay attention to this. So I went ahead and highlighted. This is basically the balance. So 0 to 0.00001, there is what, a little over 3.6 million addresses. So you can kind of go down the list and see. Now I'm trying to get each and every one of you to one whole Bitcoin. And what I want you to see here is wallets that hold 1 to 10 Bitcoin is less than a million. 863,878 to be exact. Now, pay attention to what I'm telling you here. There's 56 point, I think it's 2, something like that, 2 or 3 million millionaires in this world. So again, 56.2 million millionaires. Now, the total supply of Bitcoin is only 21 million. And remember, I taught you, throw that number out. It's more like about 18.2 million when you factor in Satoshis, as well as all the ones that's been lost, as well as when you look at MicroStrategy tying this stuff up. They're never selling their Bitcoin. So that Bitcoin's gone forever. Just take it off the exchanges. And what did I tell you? Less than 864,000 addresses have 1 to 10 Bitcoin. And that's not saying that's all individualized. You could have some people that have multiple addresses. So the point I'm trying to make is Bitcoin's so rare, not every single millionaire on this earth could even own one. Let me say it one more time. So all you millionaires out there, if you don't already have your Bitcoin, you better hurry grab it while you can, because you're going to get priced out sooner than you think. So this is why I'm trying to get you to get to one whole Bitcoin. Scarcity is everything. And now that you're seeing bank manipulation, forcing the hand of hard-working men and women in this world of what to do with your money, again, I'll let you decide how you feel about that. Comment down below if that angers you, or how that makes you feel that the bank's now forcing your hand what to do with your money. We hope that doesn't come to America, and it's sad it's already in England. But hopefully that gets rectified, but who knows? I think people's feeling fear and panic at the high institutional level because BlackRock's coming in with a vengeance. So is Fidelity. I believe Franklin Templeton is now coming in to get in the ETF action. And whether you guys like this or not, with all these institutions coming in, it's going to provide tons of mass adoption for Bitcoin. It's going to get to where it's going to be more streamlined. You're going to be able to have massive amounts of money, such as potentially college endowments eventually coming in. So just try to see the positive on that. Whatever Bitcoin you own, it's always going to be decentralized. You're never going to have to necessarily give to the banks if you don't want. It's a way for you to have power to the people. It's a way for you to solidify your family and yourself and your future forever. Remember, you're going to have one chance at this opportunity. That gap is closing rapidly. Like the title of this video says, get unstuck now. I told you September was going to be bearish. I made the correct call on that. I hope you guys and gals have been DCAing in this whole month. Hopefully you continue to do that until we jump into the bull cycle. It is right around the corner. No one knows when, but it's inevitable that it's coming soon. And please don't forget, subscribe to my channel, smash up the like button. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you being here. And please don't forget, live every day to the fullest, because tomorrow, unfortunately, is not promised to anyone. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for staying till the end. I greatly appreciate your time. Go ahead and click here for another video to help you on your journey.